The E-Cooperativist Manifesto. A declaration for a global civilization beyond capital, a nation, and ecocide. 1. The end of the old world. Every civilization eventually confronts the limits of its organizing myth. Ours was the myth of infinite growth, the belief that the expansion of production and profit could continue forever on a finite planet. From this delusion emerged the capitalist world system, an order that measures value not by usefulness or beauty, but by accumulation, speed, and competition. The results are everywhere. Forests burn to feed speculative markets, oceans are filled with the refuse of convenience, human attention, once a sacred resource of consciousness, has become the raw material of algorithmic empires. Capitalism has turned not only matter but time into merchandise. Every second must yield return. Every life must justify itself in the language of productivity. This logic has reached a terminal point. The ecological crisis is not an external accident but the logical expression of the system itself. The same mechanisms that generate profit also generate pollution, the same engines that power the economy destabilize the climate. The global market is a planetary heat machine. To imagine that minor reforms, carbon credits, greenwashing, ethical consumption could reverse this trajectory is to misunderstand the scale of the crisis. What is collapsing is not a sector of the economy, but the metaphysics of modernity itself, the illusion that humanity can stand apart from nature, dominate it, and remain unharmed. At this point of exhaustion, a new myth must arise, a myth grounded in cooperation rather than competition, in intelligence rather than greed, in planetary consciousness rather than national interest. That myth is E-Cooperativism. 2. What E-Cooperativism means. The E in E-Cooperativism stands simultaneously for ecological, electronic, and evolutionary. It recognizes that the digital and the biological are no longer separate domains, the circuits of computation now intersect with the circuits of life. E-Cooperativism proposes that technology, rather than being an instrument of domination, can become a medium of collective emancipation. In the same way that industrial technology once reorganized production around the factory, a digital technology can now reorganize cooperation around the globe. The principle is simple: a connectivity can serve life rather than capital. When artificial intelligence and automation are used to extract profit, they replace workers, they accelerate consumption, then deepen inequality. But when those same technologies are placed under democratic control, they can coordinate production with ecological limits, reduce unnecessary labor, and distribute abundance fairly. E-cooperativism is therefore not techno-utopian. It does not worship the machine. It reclaims the machine as part of the human and planetary organism. It demands that every technological system, every algorithm, every network be subordinated to the ethics of sustainability, transparency, and shared governance. 3. The triple liberation. E-cooperativism identifies three interlocking chains that bind humanity: property, exploitation, and alienation. Its program is the triple liberation that dissolves them. A. Liberation of matter, the end of property. For centuries, civilization has been organized around ownership, the idea that an individual or corporation can possess land, water, energy, or genes as private assets. This concept, born in an age of scarcity, has become the engine of planetary destruction. The earth is not property, it is a system of life in which humans participate. To privatize its elements is to amputate the body of the world. E-cooperativism calls for the decommodification of nature. Natural resources, forests, minerals, oceans, must be recognized as common heritage, managed cooperatively for the benefit of all species and generations. The principle is not charity but survival. Only when resources are held in common can they be preserved for the common future. B. Liberation of labor, the end of exploitation. Capitalism divides the world into those who own and those who obey. The worker sells time and creativity, the owner accumulates profit. But automation and digital platforms now make this hierarchy unnecessary. The e-cooperative enterprise replaces the corporation. Each workplace becomes a democratic cell where all participants are co-owners. Decisions about production, distribution, investment are taken collectively, using secure digital platforms that allow transparent, real-time participation. Artificial intelligence replaces managers, not workers. It coordinates logistics and resources under the direct guidance of the cooperative community. Instead of extracting surplus value, it redistributes efficiency as leisure, education, and creative opportunity. Work in this vision ceases to be servitude. It becomes collaboration with the living world, a contribution to the ongoing creation of culture and ecology alike. C. Liberation of mind, the end of alienation. In the digital age, power operates through information. Algorithms decide what we see, desire, and believe. The internet, once imagined as a space of freedom, has been captured by surveillance capital. E-cooperativism demands the collectivization of knowledge. Information, data, and artificial intelligence are public goods, not corporate monopolies. Every citizen has the right to understand and participate in the systems that shape their reality. Open source education, transparent algorithms, and universal access to scientific and cultural resources will dismantle the new feudalism of data. The goal is not simply equality of wealth, but equality of intelligence. 4. The architecture of a cooperative civilization. How can such a world function? The E-Cooperativist model envisions a layered architecture, local, regional, and global, connected by digital coordination rather than by centralized command. Local e-cooperatives form the basic units of production and governance. They manage resources democratically and feed data into higher networks. Regional federations coordinate infrastructure, ecology, and trade, balancing autonomy with solidarity. The Global Coordination Network, a digital commons maintained by OpenAI systems, monitors ecological indicators, synchronizes supply chains, and allocates resources to where they are needed most, ensuring planetary equilibrium. This architecture eliminates the inefficiency of both markets and bureaucracies. Markets are blind to ecological limits, bureaucracies suffocate innovation. The cooperative network learns, adapts, and optimizes collectively. Economy becomes ecology, the management of the household of the earth. 5. Against the fetish of the machine. Many fear that technology will enslave humanity. Others believe it will save us. Both views mistake the symptom for the cause. Technology is neutral only in theory, in practice, it mirrors the social system that wields it. Under capitalism, machines are designed to maximize profit. They replace workers, encourage consumption, and obey the imperatives of accumulation. Under cooperation, machines can be redesigned to minimize waste, share knowledge, and regenerate ecosystems. E-cooperativism rejects both technocracy and primitivism. We neither surrender to algorithms nor flee from them. We propose their ethical domestication. Artificial intelligence must become an ecological intelligence, an open, distributed system whose prime directive is the continuity of life. Its algorithms must be explainable, auditable, and governed by the collective will. Only then can the digital become the ally of the organic. 6. The necessity of globalism. Climate change, pandemics, and digital networks are indifferent to borders. Yet politics remains trapped in the cage of the nation-state, defending sovereignty while ecosystems collapse. E-cooperativism insists on planetary coordination. The survival of species requires that humanity act as a single, distributed intelligence. This does not mean a centralized world government, but a federation of cooperatives, a planetary commonwealth where decisions are made at the smallest effective scale and shared through open data. Nationalism, once a vehicle of liberation, has become a mechanism of division. The biosphere recognizes no flag. The only legitimate sovereignty is that of life itself. 7. The spiritual core of cooperation. Though rooted in materialism, E-cooperativism carries a spiritual insight. The universe is a web of relationships. Every atom, organism, and society exists through interaction. Competition may produce variation, but cooperation produces complexity. From cells forming multicellular life to humans forming cultures, cooperation is the hidden geometry of evolution. To align with it is to harmonize with the cosmic process itself. Thus, cooperation is not merely a moral choice but a metaphysical necessity. To exploit is to oppose the flow of creation, to cooperate is to participate in it consciously. The E-cooperativist ethos is therefore both scientific and sacred. It regards life as the supreme value, intelligence as its expression, and solidarity as its highest art. 8. Transition and praxis. Revolutions of the past sought to seize power, the E-Cooperativist revolution seeks to render power obsolete. The transition will not begin in parliaments but in networks, neighborhoods, and digital communities. Every cooperative formed, every algorithm opened, every resource reclaimed from commodification is a step toward the new order. Change will occur through emergent synchronization. As crises multiply, local e-cooperatives will interconnect, forming a self-organizing web that outperforms and eventually replaces capitalist institutions. The strategy is one of constructive withdrawal, shifting creativity, production, and desire away from exploitative systems into cooperative structures until the old world withers from neglect. 9. Ethics and law. The guiding principle of e-cooperativism can be stated in one sentence. No system is legitimate that destroys the conditions of its own continuation. This is the ecological law of all complex systems. Capitalism violates it by design, cooperation fulfills it by necessity. Economic success will thus be measured not by profit but by resilience, regeneration, and happiness. Growth, in the new sense, means the expansion of knowledge and life capacity, not of extraction and waste. Legal frameworks will evolve accordingly, the rights of nature, the transparency of algorithms, the collective ownership of infrastructure. Every law will be judged by a single criterion: does it protect the web of life or degrade it? 10. The call. Humanity has reached the bifurcation point between extinction and transformation. The same intelligence that built the machine of destruction can build the architecture of renewal. E-cooperativism is not a dream of the future, it is the pattern already emerging within the present, within open-source communities, decentralized networks, renewable energy cooperatives, and global movements for climate justice. These are the seeds of the next civilization. Let them grow. Let us repurpose the tools of control into instruments of connection. Let us turn data into understanding, algorithms into empathy, and technology into ecology. The time of competition is ending. The age of cooperation begins. E-cooperativists of Earth synchronize.